Good afternoon. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, I will make a brief and clear statement. On 28 February 2026, the United States, in full coordination with Israel, launched a second deliberate and unprovoked military attack against the Islamic Republic of Iran. This was a calculated act of aggression. Major cities and densely populated civilians areas were targeted. Hundreds of innocent civilians lost their lives, many more were wounded. This is a flagrant violation of the Charter of the United Nations, especially Article 2, Paragraph 4, which strictly prohibits the threat or use of force against the sovereignty and territorial integrity of any state. It is a direct assault on the foundations of international law. The Security Council convened an emergency meeting on Saturday. The facts were clear. The aggression was clear. Responsibility also was clear. In a reckless and unprecedented escalation, the United States and Israel deliberately targeted the supreme leader of Islamic Republic of Iran and many high military officials. Targeting the highest official of a sovereign UN member state is an egregious breach of international law and a direct attack on sovereign equality. Such conduct endangers the entire international system. The United States and the Israeli regime are deliberately targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure. Schools, hospitals, Red Crescent facilities, and residential buildings were attacked. On the first day of the aggression, the girls' school in Minab, a small town in Hormozgan province in southern Iran, was deliberately destroyed. As a result, 165 innocent, I repeat it, 165 schoolgirls martyred. Their bodies were recovered from a rubble after hours of rescue efforts. On the same day, similar attacks martyred several hundred students in other cities, including eastern Tehran and Abyek in Gazvin province. But just this afternoon, the ambassador of the Israeli regime from this very podium resorted to lies and fabrications, shamelessly denying and ignoring the crimes committed by this regime against children and innocent civilians in Iran. Yesterday, further strike targeted Red Crescent building, Motahari, Gandhi, and Khatam hospitals in Tehran, Abu Zaz hospitals in Ahvaz, 3 emergency checkpoints in Sarab, Chabahar, and Hamadan, as well as residential building in northern Tehran. This morning, missiles struck a densely populated residential area in Sanandaj in Kurdistan province. The full number of casualties is still being verified. These acts constitute aggression. They constitute war crimes. They constitute crimes against humanity. The United States cannot remain silent. The United Nations cannot remain silent. Accountability is not optional. It is deeply shameful and hypocritical that only the very first day of its presidency of the Security Council, the United States convened a high-level meeting on protecting children, technology, and education in armed conflict under the agenda item maintenance of international peace and security, while at the same time launching missile strike against Iranian cities and bombing schools and killing children. For the United States, protecting children and maintaining international peace and security clearly mean something very different from the UN Charter provides. Words about peace and protection cannot cover act of aggression. Let's make no mistake, there was no imminent threat from Iran. Our nuclear program is exclusively peaceful. We were engaged in serious diplomatic negotiations. For the second time, the United States chose force over diplomacy and violated the Charter. There are no legal grounds that justify this attack. The so-called preemptive attack has no basis in international law. The prohibition on the use of force is absolute, except in self-defense against an armed attack. Iran is exercising its inherent right to self-defense under Article 51 of the Charter. Our response is lawful, necessary, and proportionate. We target only the military objectives of the hostile forces. We don't target civilians. We don't target the interest of neighboring states. Under international law, every state has a duty not to allow its territory to be used for act of aggression against another state. Member states must exercise due diligence to prevent their territory from being used by foreign forces to attack other countries. Iran does not seek war. Iran does not seek escalation, but Iran will not surrender its sovereignty. The issue before the international community is clear. Can a powerful state attack another sovereign member of the United States? If the answer is yes, then the Charter is meaningless. If the answer is no, then this aggression must be condemned and stopped. Double standard will destroy the credibility of this Council. Silence will embolden further lawlessness. As long as aggression continues, Iran will defend itself decisively and without hesitation. The Security Council must act firmly, clearly, and without ambiguity. Thank you.
Rationale behind attacking other countries, including Iraq, the UAE, Qatar, and some other countries, Iraqi Kurdistan as well.
As I mentioned, we are not attacking the interests of our neighboring countries. We are defending ourselves. We are targeting the facilities and the bases and the assets of the United States in this country, in those countries which is out of the control.
The joint U.S.-Israel operation against the Iranian regime continues. Israel and the U.S. are acting with strength, coordination, and determination. We thank President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu for their steadfast leadership and moral clarity this critical moment. Our objectives are clear. No nuclear weapon, no ballistic missile threat, destroy their navy, and crush the regime's proxy network. We are hitting decisively, surgically, without apology. As we dismantle the regime, the Iranian leadership is lashing out in desperation. Over the past few days, missiles have been fired at Israel, most of them, but also the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, Kuwait, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, and even on European soil in Cyprus. This is not strategy. It is panic. It is desperate. While we strike military facilities and the machinery of terror with precision, the Iranian regime strikes civilians, families, airports, hotels, shopping centers, people's homes. In Bet Shemesh, a city near Jerusalem, 4 apartment buildings were destroyed. 9 innocent people were murdered, including these 3 young siblings, Sarah, Abigail, and Yaakov Biton. Same family, together. Brothers and sisters killed in their own home. Overnight, another missile struck Beersheba, injuring more innocent people. This contrast tells everything. We target military infrastructure, they target families. They terrorize their own people, they terrorize us, and now they are attempting to terrorize the region and the world. We honor those we have lost. Despite the sacrifice, we are determined. We will not stop until we achieve our objectives. Look at what they are doing now without a nuclear weapon, threatening the entire region. Ballistic missiles fired in desperation, a regime striking widely as it brought to its knees. Now imagine that same regime with a nuclear capability. That is not a risk we tolerate. That is a reality we will not allow. That is why the joint operation was necessary. We do not just talk about stopping the Iranian regime, we are stopping it. Meanwhile, look at what is happening inside this building at the UN. As Iranian missiles were hitting Israeli cities, the UN Secretary General Special Representative for Children and Armed Conflict, Vanessa Frazier, she tweeted last night condemning what she described as attacks on Iranian schools, leaving a large number of casualties, mostly children. That's from her tweet from last night. Horrible picture indeed. She posted this graphic image where you can see families in Iran standing among rows of black body bags. I agree, it's a horrible picture. But this photograph is not from the past few days. It was actually taken at the end of January. The dead in these bags that you see were civilians killed by the Iranian regime itself, killed by the same regime now firing missiles at our cities. While this image is being circulated by a UN representative, Israeli children were being killed and injured by Iranian missiles. No tweet about them, no condemnation for them, no urgency for them. Ms. Fraser, if you wish to fulfill your mandate, condemn the Iranian attack that murdered Israeli children. But we know this is the UN. Accusations first, facts later. So I ask, where is the global urgency as this radical Islamist regime spreads its terror across the world? I will be clear. We will do whatever is necessary to protect our people, to protect our borders. Thank you very much.
What about comments on the Iranian schoolgirls who were killed in Danon?
Well, please.
Thank you. It's Pamela Falk from U.S. News and World Report. We heard just this morning from the U.S. that there will be several more weeks of strikes. Are Iranian nuclear facilities within those targets? Thank you.
So I said it very clearly that one of the goals of this joint operation is to make sure that they don't have nuclear capabilities to threaten the entire world. And we all know that those sites, unfortunately, after the summer, they continue to develop them and to rebuild them. So we will do whatever is necessary to make sure they don't have nuclear capability.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. My name is Susan Tehrani from WION. President Trump said that the operations may last about 4 to 5 weeks. I was wondering, is that Israel's assessment as well? Thank you.
As long as it takes. You know, it's not easy for the people in Israel who stay in shelters for long days. It's not easy for our neighboring countries. You know, I get phone calls from people who are stuck now in Dubai and other places. It's not easy. We all sacrifice, but it will continue as long as it takes to achieve the goal of the operation.
Ambassador, my name is Stella. What is your message to the people of Israel who are under a psychological warfare, meaning they're not sleeping, the sirens are constantly going off, they're in and out of bomb shelters, but they're willing to take this risk because Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, has been a threat for so many years?
You know, I speak with my family, with my mother, she's 84 years old, with my daughters, and I tell them, be strong. It will not last forever. You are making a sacrifice, but for the future of Israel, we have to do it. We have spoken about Iran for generations, and now finally, under the leadership of President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, we are finally taking action. The world will be a better place, not only in Israel, in the entire region, the entire world.
Victoria Churchill, Daily Mail. My question is, yesterday President Trump said that he was willing to talk with current Iranian leaders. Is there anybody currently leading in Iran that Israel trusts to take over ruling that country?
Well, I'm not familiar with what's really happening now in the leadership of Iran, but I can tell you one thing, that we expected that after the operation in the summer, they will recalculate their actions. They will decide to engage. It did not happen. On the contrary, from the information and the intel we received, we saw the determination to continue with the deception, to continue with the nuclear ambitions. So we hope that there will be new leadership. The Iranian people deserve better leadership, and we are telling them, we love the Iranian people. Mardume Iran, we pray for you. We pray for your freedom, and I believe their freedom will come sooner than later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. What would you say about the school that was hit? You posted this picture here, but do you have any comment about the school that was hit during the U.S.-Israeli strike on Iran?
So I have seen different reports. Some reports show that it was actually IRGC attack that targeted this school. I don't have the exact information, but I will tell you that we regret the loss of life of any civilian, and we pray for the people of Iran, but we have the intelligence, and we target military assets. That's what we do.